statement.
That'd be great, and then Josie will have the microphone for you guys when you have questions.
Really excited about this year. I think we've got a very good nucleus returning from last year's NCAA tournament team. I thought our players had a tremendous summer and off season. Really excited about Abdul being back after missing 4.5 months really without being able to play. He's been back since we started official practice and has done a good job. Reggie, getting to the guys in the off season, had an unbelievable summer when you consider that he led our USA 19 and under team to the gold medal and was the recipient of the most valuable player for that tournament, and really did a great job for Team USA. And that's something really special to represent your country and to get a gold medal is incredibly special. Really happy for him and proud of him. I thought Tyson had a tremendous summer and is really poised to have his best year as a Bulldog going into his senior season. I really am excited about where a number of our players are right now. I think Nick Weatherspoon is in the best condition of his life. He just had a 42-inch running vertical measured the other day, which is amazing. So I'm really excited for Nick. He is our starting point guard, but the first 10 games that he'll miss will start Tyson Carter there and back up with Iverson. And Iverson's coming along. He's improving every day and learning that position, doing a really good job. I'm excited about some of our other new guys. Prince Oduro and Quentin Post, both are vying for minutes up front. I think when you see Keyshawn Fizel this year, you're going to see a new guy. I mean, first of all, he's about 42 pounds. Excuse me, he's 30 pounds lighter than where he was when he finished the season. He was 220 the other day. He finished the season at 250 last year. So he's really lean, and you can see it in his movements and his conditioning and how well he's moving. I think that Robert Woodard had an unbelievable summer. Robert's really improved his outside jump shot. I think he's really grown offensively as a perimeter player from when he first arrived a year ago to where he is right now. Great competitor, one of our leaders, no doubt. Is really playing good basketball for us and is really showing a lot of good leadership for our team. I think that we have good depth, we have good size, we're physical. We've just got to keep growing as a team in all areas, but I'm looking forward to the upcoming season. We have our first taste of playing someone else a week from this Saturday. We're going to meet TCU down in New Orleans and play down there in the, what's there, Smoothie King
Yes, sir.
Arena.
Smoothie King Center. Yes, sir.
The Pelicans have been very nice to be so gracious as to allow us to do that. I have a former player who plays for the Pelicans, and Drew Holiday, and Jamie has a former player who played at TCU for him, playing for them as well. So it's kind of fun. We'll get a chance to watch those kids play the night before in an exhibition game against the Jazz, which I think would be a fun experience for our players. And we'll get a good bonding experience with a 5-hour bus ride each way. But yeah, and then we'll actually have the charity event, which I think is great, to raise money for all the farmers, especially who suffered from all the rain that we had this past year. Although we haven't had much rain lately, but it was unbelievable this past winter, and especially the spring and summer. I've never, we're still at all-time records here in Mississippi for rain, and we're playing against a very good South Alabama team. I saw the other day where they have 5 players return, the only team in the country that I think averaged 14 points a game or more. So a little tidbit from that from Rothstein, and I was like, wow, we're going to really challenge ourselves from day one out of the gate. In both those exhibition games, Nick's allowed to play, and he will start in both those games. So we're playing those games and playing to try to compete and learn about ourselves.
Any questions? Josie will get the microphone to you. We'll start in the back of the cameras with Steve.
Coach, we've heard a lot of speculation about Reggie Perry this year possibly being an SEC Player of the Year type candidate. As his coach, where would you like to see him improve in year two?
You know, I think Reggie has really grown as a player, you know, tremendously from when he first arrived here, you know, a year ago, last summer. He's improved in every way. Where I think he's really grown as a player already is I think he's a much better shooter, and his shooting right now is really improved, his jump shot. But I think like we're running more offense through him. He's one of our best passers. He's tremendous at pushing the ball in transition and just making a simple play, making a simple pass. He's a very willing passer, and he loves to make plays for others. I mean, I think that's one of his greatest skills is his ability to pass. I want him to be a better rebounder. I want him to average double figures in rebounds every single night we play. And I want him to have a goal of being a guy who can average a double-double, which is extremely difficult to do. He's capable of doing it, and that's a challenge. And the challenge is on the rebounding side, is really being consistent there and going every single time in the offensive glass. Him and Robert, I think him and Robert is, you know, our two starting forwards give us, you know, the potentially the best tandem rebounding forwards in the conference at the 4 and 3. And, you know, so we need both those guys to do that.
We'll get it here to Paul, second row to the right of Coach.
You mentioned often about Iverson being able to be above the physical standpoint and being above that curve. What else have you seen from him in practice so far that catches your attention?
Just that he's learning the game. You know, he's learning a lot about trying to be a point guard and make the simple passes and getting in the lane and stopping. You know, when he gets in the lane, you know, he gets close to the basket, what he wants to do is score. And we want him to always look for that opportunity. But like rebounding, he's becoming a better rebounder, a better defender. You know, he's learning how to, you know, most high school kids, unfortunately, when the ball is not being guarded by them, they kind of stand and watch versus, you know, get help side. His athleticism and his strength force him to become a very good help defender and still get back to his own. So learning those types of concepts. And it's just so much to learn, being consistent and disciplined about our transition defense rules and what he has to do each time, knowing when he's at the 2 and when he's at the 1. We're asking a lot of freshmen when we're asking to know 2 positions, every set, every play, from every spot on the floor. So, you know, he has a lot that he's learning, and he's handled it well. And he's becoming a better shooter. I think all the time he's spending in the gym shooting is really paying off for him. I think he's becoming a better perimeter shooter with more balance and really good form. I'm excited about that.
We'll go to the front row and Coach's right. We'll go to Danny, and then we'll go to Logan.
Coach, staying with the guards, you mentioned Tyson in your opening statement. Now him being a senior, do you see a little sense of urgency from him? That's why he's come back like he has. And Paul brought the question about Iverson. Has he helped him make the adjustment a little bit in the preseason?
You know, Tyson is so much stronger and quicker than he was. I think he's faster. I think he's quicker than he was a year ago. And I think part of that was, you know, continued work in the weight room. I think he's playing with a lot of confidence. I thought that when Nick missed the last 10 games of the season, he really filled in admirably, and I think he really grew from that point. And is, you know, very capable of playing both spots, the 1 and the 2, offensively especially. You know, and he's definitely helping Iverson, but I think Iverson's learning from all the experienced guys. Another guy we haven't talked about who's going to be playing in his first game is DJ Stewart. We expect a lot out of DJ, and you can see that he's so much better because of the year of practicing and being in the program and learning in terms of his understanding of the game. I think he's going to be one of our better perimeter defenders for sure. You know, he and Nick, you know, step out right now as our 2 top perimeter defenders at 1 and 2, and DJ will also slide and play minutes at the 3. You know, so I'm really excited about DJ and his growth, and he's got a great work ethic. He's in here every morning at 6:30. Want to watch him shoot sometime? He's here at 6:30 in the morning for those of you that want to watch. You know, he's here, you know, on a consistent basis. And it just has a great work ethic, great attitude. You know, love him as a young man, And I think he's gonna really impact our team this year. And, you know, as it turned out, losing Nick those last 10 games of the season last year, it was a killer to not have him available, and I really toiled about, am I gonna really take him off his freshman year and play him in just 7, 8, 9, 10 games, we didn't know how many, and determined that it was fairest to just proceed the way we did.
I was going to ask you about DJ, but also about Prince too. Just how excited are you to add them to the mix after redshirting them last year?
Yeah, and I think they both benefited from redshirting. I think Prince is, like he had 6 rebounds yesterday in our practice. He really played physically. In fact, I'm gonna invite you all to watch practice today. For those of you who wanna stay and watch, you're welcome to watch at 2:45. So we're gonna be in the hump. We're gonna go hard for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and you guys are welcome to make your own judgments, and I'll let the team know that, you know, we're gonna have you guys there for those of you who want to or can or have the time. You know, please feel free to be a part of it today. That'll give you the best feel for where we are, because we're gonna do a lot of 4-on-4 and 5-on-5. You know, another player that we've added to the program that I haven't mentioned yet that I am super excited about, thrilled, is Tolu Smith. You know, he's 6'10", 240, transfer from Western Kentucky. All of our players know that he's going to be a real impact player for us a year from now when he becomes eligible after his redshirt year because of transferring. He's a very, very good player, and he's getting better because of his attitude. He's really got a great drive to want to be really good. He's very physical, very tough, very skilled. Might be our you know, top, you know, 2 low post scorer along with Reggie right now. And boy, I wish he was eligible right now.
We'll go to Garrick here, and then we'll go back to Paul.
Mentioned Woodard a little bit already, but how much of a increase in his role do you think you're going to see this year?
You know, he's our starting 3-man, no question. And he's really, you can just see the confidence he plays with now. I mean, it's, you know, and he had to make the adjustment a year ago from being a more of a power forward in high school and around the basket to a perimeter player. He still scores for us around the basket, and he's still driving, but just his work ethic in the off season is, you know, he is just, you know, a model in terms of what you want out of a kid. You know, he always does the right thing. You know, he's got an unbelievable body. Like his, I'll try to put him on the skin team today so you can get a true look. Kidding. But he's like, you know, his body is so ripped. I've never had a player in my 37 years as a basketball coach that has this body. I mean, in terms of just everything is just cut up. I mean, like he's they should do. We can make a lot of money with a poster of him. You know, one of those players did that. I forget it back in the day. I don't think they allow that, but yeah, he is unbelievable. He's like a Greek figure. I mean, it's incredible.
We'll go to Paul and then Steve.
Couple questions, Coach. Quentin was a late pickup for you guys in the last recruiting class. What attracted you to him, and what stood out about his game, and what's he got to work on moving forward?
You know, for him, it's just his body, number one. I mean, he's a legit 7 feet tall. And you'll see him today. I know you'll watch. Very skilled. Really passes. You know, can just finish off of both feet. Has a good feel for spacing on the floor offensively. You know, has some toughness to him. For him, it's his strength. It's like, you know, he came in here, he was 210. When he visited, he was 219. I mean, he played with the national team, did a lot of travel. At one point, he was 210. He's back up to like 222, 223 now. You can already see the strength is improving to our both eating, nutrition-wise, and his strength training. Very good three-point shooter. Can really shoot the ball. His teammates have a lot of confidence. It's just for him growing, and the physicality that we play at here is different than what they, you know, do in Europe. I mean, it's just a much more. Now he's guarding, you know, 255, 250, 250, you know, 240 guys that are big. So for him, it's going to be really important to keep growing in that weight room and you know, eating. And but you know, him learning the game is important as well. Like learning to play lower. You know, he's very erect, as all freshmen are. And it really, I thought, hurt him to not be here for the 2 sessions of summer, but it is what it is.
And along those lines with freshmen, what have you seen so far with Elias and Devin, and where do you see them fitting in?
Yeah, Elias is one of our best shooters on the team, and we lost 3 very good shooters in Q, Eric, and Lamar. 3 best three-point shooters. You talk about guys that can really shoot other than Tyson, there's those 3. And, so he's a guy that adds that. He's an outstanding passer. His biggest thing is learning how to defend at this level. And that's what I told him. If you can't defend, you're not going to be able to help us. You've got to take, your pride being the best defensive player that you can be. And that's something that's challenging because he's giving up 30 pounds every day when he matches up with Robert. And I said, welcome to the SEC. This is what it is. So, for him, a lot like Quentin, he's got to get bigger and stronger. But his skill level and his passing ability are already at a very high level. Like if he's open, he has a quick release, it's going in.
And what about Dev?
And then Devin's learning the game. Again, just the pace, the strength, the physicality of it all. It's something that both those kids have had to adjust to. And he's doing a good job. He's a great kid. And, we're expecting him to, compete.
Coach, a couple of questions about Tyson. Number one, how has he kind of embraced the point guard role? And when he slides over to point guard, what does that change offensively for the 2, and who do you like there?
The way it stands right now, if we were starting today without Nick, it would be Tyson at the 1, DJ at the 2, Robert at the 3. Iverson's the one guy right now that could break into that. And, so it's still, we got a long way to go here. But that if we started today, I'm telling you where it would be. And regardless, those guys are all playing major minutes. And, when Tyson's off the ball, he's handling it more. I like it better with him off the ball, we want to get Tyson as many open shots as we can. Yesterday, from inside 3, he made 47 out of 50 and 46 out of 50. Anytime you can make, that kind of shooting percentage, it's 93 out of 100, much less the threes, he's going to make 8. When he's wide open, he's making 75, 80%. It's incredible how well he shot the ball this summer and this fall. If he's open, it's going in, and he's increased his range. He literally has NBA range. 25 feet is a good shot for him when he's wide open because of his strength. So, I'm excited for Tyson. My biggest thing is to be able to get him the proper rest so he can play. I think he's done a better job with his help defense too. Taking pride in creating, some loose balls by being in the passing lanes and being in help when people are driving and getting his hand on the ball.
We'll stay to coaches left with Garrick in the second row, and then we'll go to Tyler down in the front row.
Ben, obviously it's in its infancy stages, but do you think this fair pay to play California Act is going to have any impact on college basketball moving forward?
Well, it's supposed to, what I've read, and I haven't really read the whole bill, but in 2023, so, there's some time between now and then to see, where this all goes, because you've got to have a fair playing field. You can't have certain states, allowing something that other states aren't. And I think it's a very complex issue. I think it's a very difficult thing. What I think is great is to do everything we can to help our players. And I think for example, since I've been here in the last 4 years, we added the cost of attendance where each of the athletes is getting more money and on top of their full scholarship, which I think was a great thing. And I think that, is something I hope will continue to escalate. I hope that they're, getting a little better numbers there because we want our players to be comfortable. But it's a very complex issue, and we're going to follow whatever rules that, we're told to follow.
You mentioned how much you like Nick at the point and then also playing through Reggie a little bit offensively. But when you lose 2 of your most dominant ball handlers in Lamar and Q, how hard is it to kind of shift your identity as a team, especially on offense?
You know, last year I was just reading in one of the magazines that we were 13th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency, so we were pretty good offensively a year ago. You know, plus, you know, with Q, you know, Q was so, and he's an NBA player, you know, so we lost a very good player and a guy who was a senior. So, you know, we lost a lot, obviously, when we lost him in terms of the offensive end, creating shots, but I think we have a number of guys that can get their own, Nick being one of them. I'm very comfortable with Nick and Tyson with the ball and running offense for them. Iverson's learning, and like I said, especially Reggie, we have to utilize Reggie. Reggie's such a good passer. I mean, against zones, he's really good at the high post. I mean, just incredible. I have a lot of faith. We have to continue to evolve our offense to get him more and more touches because he makes good decisions. And running offense from him as well as those two guards is going to really, I think, be good for our team offensively.
Anything else for Coach before we let him go? All right, thank you guys.
Good.
We'll see you at practice.
Thank you.